But let's talk about the humor innovation equation because your brain changes on play and humor. That's right. Absolutely. And there's neuroscience, there's also behavioral data, business data that shows us the benefits of using humor and laughter at work, in your life, all over. So let's look at the neuroscience very quickly. Is that when your brain shuts down, we've all had that experience. When we're stressed, it's basically part of our brain, the amygdala, is being hijacked. Yeah, it's being jacked. You ever walked around just jacked up on stress and anxiety and all of that stuff? It's very hard when somebody says, "Hey, go be innovative." You're like, "No, how do I do that?" It's very hard. Oh, that more gray matter lights up when we play and laugh and have fun. Playfulness means we're using more of our brain's capacity. That's right. It is hard though when it is jacked. So what do? Play is the antidote for getting our brains out of this jacked mode. Think of that. Play is the antidote. It's like the boot coming off for our brain. Now we can drive the brain. The brain goes, okay, I can do something with this. So here's what's really important is that when you're in a state of play and laughter, it calms the nervous system. It brings anxiety down, stress, good part of our brain, the brain that's like, yeah, let's do this. The neurofrontal cortex, all that other stuff, the parts of the brain that light up more of the brain under play can freeform create. So when we move from a state of fear to play and laughter and humor, we're able to do stuff. I call it the humor innovation equation and get out of that fear state. So, yes, it works. The science is there. So, the stress, the antidote to play, that's basically it. There's a lot more research out there. One of my favorite places, and I did a panel years ago with one of my favorite play people, Stuart Brown, the National Institute for Play, and he and a bunch of other researchers, play research, have studied the effects of play on the brain, and they've studied the effects of brains deprived of play, and they found that healthy brains do not just happen. Play helps shape them and keep them in shape. And when we are deprived of play, our brains don't develop in a normal, healthy way. So it's really important. So, yes, the neuroscience is there. You can look up more stuff. So, what does that have to do with innovation? Well, everything. If we want to get our best ideas and get out of a stressed response, we have to start to play. We can see different things. We have those aha moments. So when you're stressed and you can't solve a problem, the best thing you can do is we can come up with new ideas. So that's what you have to do. And what we know is that humor and play means exponential innovation. So when your environment celebrates play and laughter and humor and all the good things, we have a multiplier effect on innovation. One and one is not two. In a playful environment, one and one could be five because you and I might get together and then we're yes-anding each other and collaborating. And there's ideas that never would have existed, but for the fact that we got together in the room and created them. And so there is a multiplier effect when you play. And playful environments, they welcome big ideas. They don't shut it down. They make it safe. And when we nurture people, we have that safety. Google's Project Aristotle, psychological safety is key to great teams. And when we play and we laugh and we make mistakes and we normalize that, the message we send is, yeah, it's okay to do that here. That's part of the process. It's absolutely part of the process. So humor is also a reframe. It's a problem solver. It absolutely does. When you're stuck, sometimes the best thing you can do is step away and maybe reframe and say, how do we make this worse? You can come up with a lot of ways to make it worse. And by doing that, it gives you clues as to where to look, where you might be making mistakes in the customer journey, in the customer experience, whatever problems you're dealing with. So humor is a really powerful reframe to have these aha lightning moments. It is a creative catalyst, absolutely, in as part of that humor, innovation equation. And teams that play, they do create more. They absolutely do. Now, this is a little bit older. I think Google has since abandoned this, but they used to have that 20% rule. And 3M also had that. They came up with Post-its. But basically, with the 20% rule, is that you could, all employees would have 20% of their week to work on whatever projects they wanted. And so Google Mail was born from that. A lot of things were born from that. They don't have it anymore, but Google used to have Google Labs, and it was a portal you went to, and you could see all customers, if you use Google, you could see what the company was working on. And those projects came out of this 20% rule. Yep. So you can thank Gmail for all that email and also increase productivity. So I don't know. Maybe we need how do we get rid of so much mail? Maybe we need inbox zero. It should come with a detonator. I don't know. Just a thought. But Zappos, IDEO, Twitter, back when it was Twitter, and Dick Costello was CEO, he was an improviser. And they used, and still do, IDEO and Zappo, they use a lot of playful thinking to come up with new ideas and products. That's really important because they know it's really important that the best ideas are often like, this is ridiculous. How do you know it's a good idea? It probably is prefaced with, this is ridiculous. Yeah. Pixar. Pixar. I did some work with Pixar and I couldn't even bring a camera in, but they use uh, the story spine. They use a lot of storytelling techniques that come from improv to make their stories incredible, right? And that 22 rules of storytelling from Pixar, much of that was influenced by improv. And so they have won awards, 26 Academy Awards, so they know what they're doing, but they play. And their storytelling is all about playfulness and moving forward and getting the story right. So if there's the neuroscience, which is it's there, the other thing is the data. The data is there. If you look at Harvard Business Review, for example, Harvard Business Review found that playful environments can increase innovation up to 55%. Now that's just an average, some more, some less, but basically they found that there is a direct link between playfulness and actual ideas generated. Absolutely. Mayo Clinic uses play to reduce stress in their innovation teams. And they found that they reduced stress by 40% just using humor tools and play tools. That's the only mayo I like other than Chipotle mayo. And that's the Mayo Clinic. And then WD-40, that's right, the spray people, their culture is all about fun. And they found that it increased engagement by 93%. Yeah, just by spraying and applying the loosening everybody up. It's like let me spray that on you. But just by having a playful culture, they increased it 93% their engagement, and that's pretty powerful. Now, in my experience, in as little as 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, somewhere in there, just even a game, one or two games can lighten people up and make a difference. It really can. And I've worked with tech teams, I've worked with marketing teams, I've worked with sales teams, and I've worked with them on flexing their communication muscle, on their creativity, their innovation muscle, all with improv and humor tools, which are play tools. And I found that when they get outside their this is the only way this works, they have these aha moments. And it can be as simple as just, a different way of thinking that has this light bulb moment. It can have a light bulb moment. Absolutely. It really can. And there's a lot of things you can do. I'm just going to give you a handful of things you can do. If you're thinking, what do I do? How do I do this? Well, I do have a book, Stop Boring Me. Woo, 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 woo. It's all about innovation and creativity and communications using improv and play tools and humor. But I'm going to give you a few here. For example, if you're stuck, storyboard your process in pictures. Just storyboard it. At Pixar, I got to see early cells, storyboard cells of The Good Dinosaur. And it was really powerful. It was incredible. So, you get stuck. Have your team just draw out what that storyboard could look like. And you can start to see different things and what might happen. The other thing I like to do is pitch it. If you're, if you're a sales team or even an engineering team and you're thinking, we have this idea, how will it land? How will it sound? Pitch it. This is something I really love doing. And it's imagine your product was a song. Now write the lyrics. You and your team write some lyrics. So if it was, WD-40, We're gonna develop this powerful spray. It's gonna be easy, and then one day you'll get unstuck. It'll be so fun. Everybody's doing it. It's like a little mini spray gun. All right, whatever. You can't even say gun anymore. I don't know. But just have some fun. Pitch it. You and your team. Because what you'll see, does it land? Is it too intense? Are we unclear? Here's what won't work in a song: jargon. And if you're stuck on jargon, get out of that way of thinking, get into a creative play space and start singing it. Singing lyrics. Sing it. One of the things I like to do, another thing is I call personify it. Imagine like your process as a person and what tone would it have? Like what would the personality or humor be? So if you're trying to improve a process, all right, and maybe it's an HR process, an onboarding process. And if your onboarding process was like a person, what would it be? Would it be sassy? Would it be like confused? Would it be like what would it be like? Oh my God, over enthusiastic? What would it be? And then how do you make it more fun? If you want the process to be fun and that's the personality, then how do you make that process more fun? So, and then reframe. Humor is such a great way to reframe. Take a process that's not working. Maybe, um, you're stressed. You can't fix it right away. Maybe take a bug. Take a bug that's happening in software. This is just an example. And maybe it's not a bug. What is it? Reframe it. Maybe it's an Easter egg. Oh my God. And you'll give away prizes to the first 5 people that will report it. And engineers, they will report it. Here's the thing, guys. You can use toys. You can use Lego. I've used Tinker toys. I've used pipe cleaners. I've used all kinds of things to have people build something, build your mission. What if you were a mission, an object, your team, what would that look like? So here's the key though. If you're going to play, make it simple. Take one challenge you're facing. Don't try to do it all. One challenge, one activity. Now, it may be that that challenge solves a couple problems, but be really specific. So if you're going to like pitch it, what is it? Is it a product? Is it your team objective and mission? Um, be very clear so that you're solving for that, but having fun, and you'll see things in a whole new way. It will give you all kinds of ideas. I hope you've got some good tips on how to do this thing. There is no wrong way. There is no right way. It's basically finding activities that get you out of that stuckness. So whenever you're stuck, and it happens, humor is a tool to see things differently, to reframe. Humor is a sign that, hey, we do that here. We can fail. It's okay. We can be imperfect. And that's okay because that's how we learn. So when we set that tone for ourselves and our teams, it makes every bit of difference. Yay! So it pays dividends. All right, everybody. Until the next newsletter, I'm Kathy Klotz-Guest. Have a fantastic day, Bowl Creators. We'll see you next time. Bye.